smell eggs. Hi. Anyway, hi guys. I'm going to try and talk to you today about anxiety, but my anxiety-inducing little people are, yeah, they're all up in my business. Hi. You're cute. Are you cute?
Yeah.
Your sister's pretty cute too. And the dog. Say hi.
Hi.
And the dog. Crazy dog. Crazy Coco. Who's older than fart? You're older than dirt. Yes, you are. You're older than dirt. What are you gonna do with you? Peachy on the floor. Oh, no. Peachy down. Anyway, now that we've wasted a minute on wild children and crazy dogs, I'm trying to talk to you guys about anxiety. Anxiety is something that I have suffered from for several years now. The last, about 2 years ago, is when it got to be the worst. And I finally made the decision to seek some help. I poured my heart and soul and life story out to a nurse. And talked to the psychiatrist. And they set me up with a therapist who, again, I've been seeing off and on for the last 2 years and have poured out my entire life story to this woman. She knows about as much about me as my husband does. Yeah, pretty much. I wanted to talk about anxiety because I know that there is a stigma behind it. Anxiety, depression, and other mental illnesses. And I hate calling it a mental illness because that sounds bad. That makes me think of, old-time asylums. Like, if you've seen American Horror Story, and you've seen season 2, and you've seen Asylum, when I hear mental illness, that's what I think of, and I hate that. And I know that there are a lot of other people that think that. So my point in doing the video is to try and let people know that you're not alone, that you're not the only one going through this, that there's nothing wrong to be going through with it, and that it's not something you necessarily can control, and that's okay. And to not think about it as American Horror Story. And crazy old-time asylums where they did horrible, awful things to people. Let's think about it as just another bump in the road in a normal life. For myself personally, my anxiety centers around my family and something bad happening to them. I worry about something bad happening to my kids, them getting really sick or injured. I worry about my husband. He works for the State Patrol, and I worry about him getting into a bad accident. I worry about him meeting up with the wrong person. There are a lot of assholes in this world. And there are a lot of people who think they are entitled to act like assholes. And because my husband is not an officer, he does not carry a weapon. So he does not have that extra defense that a normal officer would have. And so I worry. I worry a lot about him every day when he goes to work, that somebody is going to injure him, somebody's going to kill him, he's not going to come home. And it's not easy for me to turn that off because of the anxiety. He's also a farmer. So I worry about him being out in the field, especially if he's out doing something on his own. Like if he's out plowing by himself, I worry about something happening and us not knowing in time and not being able to get him help in time. I worry about the kids and something happening to them around the machinery. Adelia slammed her finger in the tractor door the other day. It was probably a couple weeks now. But anyway, recently she slammed her finger in the door of my husband's tractor, and she actually lost a fingernail. Not a big deal. She's fine. It looks fine now. Looked a little gross at first, but, you know, crap happens. Ryan lost a fingernail because of the lawnmower when he was younger, so whatever. They grow back. But I worry. I worry about that kind of stuff all the time. I have this massive anxiety about Wyatt going to school and getting lost somewhere on the way to school. It's stupid. I mean, he's on the bus. Where is he going to go? But, you know, I worry about something happening to him there or on the way there. When my anxiety was at its worst, I was unable to do anything when there was nobody else home. So if I was the only one home with the kids, and Ethan was either away for a couple of days for work, for training, or he was away just for the day at work, and Brian was at school, and I was here by myself, I would be unable to do things like I couldn't shower by myself if I was the only one home. Even for a while, even if Brian was home, I couldn't shower because I was afraid that either one, I would slip and fall and hurt myself and be unconscious and nobody would know. Or my biggest fear was someone would break into the house or the house would start on fire and I would be the only adult here and have to try and care for, at the time, 3 kids. If someone breaks in, how do I protect all 3 children, all 3 of my children at the same time, and make sure that they're safe? If the house started on fire, how do I make sure all 3 of my children made it downstairs and outside safely? And now, of course, it's 4 children. To just really make it better. But I really struggled with being afraid of being the only adult here and something really bad happening and me not being able to control the situation and get everybody out safely. And then the guilt that I would feel if something bad happened to any of them. Also, I was afraid something, like I said with the shower, something would happen to me. I couldn't even walk downstairs to go into the basement to do laundry or to get something out of the freezer because I was afraid of falling down the stairs. Hi. And again, being unconscious and not being able to do anything for the kids and not be able to keep them safe. If you've ever seen the show Dexter, this might be a little bit of a spoiler if you haven't gotten. I think it's the last episode of season 4. I don't know. This is where my husband and I left off, and I've been unable to watch the show since seeing the scene. But there's the part where Dexter's wife is, again, ready for the spoiler, Dexter's wife is murdered and left in the bathtub. And their 1-year-old son is left sitting on the floor in a pool of her blood all by himself for who knows how long, until Dexter comes home and finds him there. Like I said, we stopped watching that show at that point because I couldn't handle watching any more of that. I'm getting a little choked up even thinking about it. That's my biggest fear. Something is going to happen to me. My children are going to be left on their own, and nobody will know. And they'll just, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just, breathe. It's terrifying for me to think of them not being protected, and that feeling like that's my fault. So, like I said, I saw a psychiatrist and he prescribed Prozac because I was pregnant with Annalise at the time. And I was on that until the beginning of my 3rd trimester. My obstetrician didn't feel like that was safe to be on medication at the end of my pregnancy into breastfeeding and stuff. They didn't want Annalise to go through any withdrawals when she was born. So I weaned myself off it, and I actually did pretty well for quite a while. And then I just felt like it was coming back, and I was getting nervous again, and everything was causing anxiety, and I was really struggling to relax and get through the day. So they put me on Zoloft. because I was no longer pregnant or breastfeeding or anything at that point. And I've been on Zoloft for like a year now, I think. And the original dose was 50, and that wasn't enough at all. So I went up to 100, and I did well for a little while. But all of a sudden, I gained an excessive amount of weight. Like, I put 50 pounds on like that. And I didn't even realize that things weren't under control on the Zoloft until I went to this doctor's appointment recently to talk to him about the thyroid stuff. Are you stuck? There you go. Come around the chair. So, if you've ever done it before, there's a little quiz type thing that you do, and you answer a bunch of questions, and it's, you know, do you feel this way every day, most days, half days, or not at all? And I did the depression one and the anxiety one. And as I'm answering these questions, because I had done it before and I did really bad, and then I did it again later after medication and therapy, and I did really well. And then I did it again at this doctor's appointment, and I was kind of somewhere in the middle. Wasn't as bad, obviously, anywhere near as bad as it had been, but not as good as it's been either. And as I'm answering these questions, I say to my doctor, I just realized how much my meds are not working. I didn't fully realize that before, but I see it now. So I made the decision to wean me off the Zoloft, which is what I'm working on now. And then this weekend I will go back on the Prozac because, number one, that worked better for me. And I was actually feeling really good on that. And number two, a side effect of the Prozac can be weight loss. See, with the Zoloft, I gained weight, and not everybody does. A lot of people don't gain any weight or have no fluctuation in their weight at all. But I gained a pretty excessive amount of weight, and it's definitely weight that I couldn't afford to gain while on the Zoloft. But I lost weight while I was on Prozac. So, hoping for that side effect again. That's not why I'm getting on that medication, but I'm hoping for that side effect again. But my main reason for getting back on the Prozac and for being on... I don't want to be on an antidepressant, but my anxiety is significantly better while I am. And I feel more normal and better able to just function, because I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, if you've never suffered from anxiety, it's very hard to explain. It's gut-wrenching, and it freezes your life, and I have panic attacks, and I haven't... Again, 2 years ago, I was having them every single day, sometimes even a couple of times a day, and I'm not now. I do still have panic attacks, but they're very rare. And on the Prozac, they stopped completely. So it was nice for a little while not to have any panic attacks. And I would look forward to not having them again. But anyway, I just hope that this medication works well again like it did before. I hope that I can get back to feeling more comfortable. And the weird thing is, I don't know how to explain it. While I am considered to have a low level of depression, I don't feel depressed. I don't feel sad and hopeless and all that kind of stuff that you usually think of with depression. I just feel kind of frozen. It's hard for me to get up and do stuff, and that is, because I'm so tired, because my body hurts so much. I lack the drive to get up and do stuff, and I think that's what qualifies me under the depression. Also with the anxiety, it's difficult to do things because I'm trying to avoid having a panic attack. And that can kind of stunt my ability to do stuff. I do suffer from some social anxiety too. And maybe I'll do another video and we'll talk about that. So we'll end this here, and I'll start another video specifically about the social anxiety. So if you guys are interested in that, look for that video, and I will hopefully get that up and running here in just a minute. Thanks, guys. Bye.